Hello and welcome once again to another episode of It's My Turn Now, where everyone gets an opportunity to express themselves, to share their thoughts, share their feelings. We have a very interesting topic on tonight. We're dealing with the red pill community. Many of you have asked me, what does red pill community mean? We have a guest that is going to share with us what it means. Apologize for the lateness of the program. Had a little bit technical difficulties with the computer, but everything seems to be okay now. So hopefully we'll be able to get started. We're trying to get get it come on live because each week we seem like we have a challenge when it comes to getting the program to come on live. So we're gonna get a few more minutes so that we can get it live rather than public, because a lot of people are not able to get at the beginning of it. So just bear with us just for a few minutes. Very interesting topic, the red pill community. I was in St. Louis just a few weeks ago. I was in St. Louis, and I met this gentleman while I was doing a program for one of the bishops there in St. Louis, and he was there, and he enlightened me to the red pill community. And I was just like a number of you all. I had questions concerning what is this thing called the red pill community, because there's a lot of pills out there, different types of pills, different type of colors. And he got a laugh because when I first mentioned to him, I gave him a different color pill. He started. I heard him laughing. He was across the room. Actually, it was in another room. He started laughing because I had given him the wrong name of the wrong color of the pill. But we're talking about, once again, we're dealing with the red pill community. Again, I'm still trying to wait for it to come on public, and it's not coming on public, so it just takes us a few minutes. So be patient. But in the meantime, we're going to bring him on right now. Justin Holmes, welcome to It's My Turn Now.
Hey, my name is Justin Holmes, and this is my turn.
Yes, sir. It's your turn, definitely. Justin's a young man, and we're living at different times now. And a lot of times we have a lot of older people, but we're going to cater to some of the younger people today. And also some of us that are older need to know what's happening in various communities and what's going on. After we talked about and had this discussion regarding the red pill community, I did some research on it to find out what's about. But Justin, I'm going to just give you a little bit. Tell us a little bit something about yourself, Justin.
Well, first off, besides my name being Justin, I am a photographer and videographer here in St. Louis, Missouri. I do a lot of different things as far as events, anniversaries, weddings. I do commercials for businesses, small and large, around St. Louis area. Also travel, and that's pretty much it. Um, I guess I'm gonna get a little deeper. So I started doing photography when I was 14 years old. When I first started doing that, it was kind of interesting. I really had just got a camera from my mom, and then my big sister had helped me to get a job at Kodak. Kodak was a retail store that was at Six Flags. So people would come in, and at 14 years old, I would stop them, take the picture, and then give them a ticket, and then upsell them on their picture later. Ultimately, I became the lead and supervisor for their site, and then I went on to kind of take that skill, work various different jobs, but ultimately I returned to what I love to do, which is photography and videography. So that's kind of where I started in that, and then now I pretty much market towards the St. Louis area to handle families, photo shoots, and then also small businesses, commercials and stuff. So that's that. So I don't know how much I was supposed to talk. I guess until you got here. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Kind of put you on the spot there for a little bit. So glad that those are coming on. Again, we're having a little problems with the computer, but we're going to switch around. So just give us a second and just tell us You said you do videography.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you said, Justin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do videography. How long have you been doing that again?
Since I've been 14 years old.
Okay, great. And I'm going to keep you on here, and I'm going to be off for just a second. So if you can give us 60 more seconds, tell us something about yourself. Are you single, married, or what?
Currently, right now, I am single. I'm not married. I am looking, out in the marketplace, seeing what's out there and everything. I like to think of myself as a young, intelligent young man who, is looking for the right woman, right? So I guess we'll kind of get more into that as we talk about the topic and stuff. So, yep.
All right. Okay, we're good and ready to go now. So I even gave you a free advertisement, for yourself. He's a single man, so if anyone's interested, you know how to reach him. Shirley says, "Praise the Lord, everyone." Thank you, Shirley. We're back on now. I got the computer up. We sometimes have little technical difficulties, but we have you on now.
Your device
Robin
is breaking up really bad. Like to the point I can't hear you.
Okay, then. Hear me now. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, it's still. You might want to come off and come back on because it's really messed up.
Okay, hold on just a second. Shirley? Yeah, hopefully we're doing good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a lot better than it was.
We gotta make sure it's not just you and your phone. But listen, we want to get into the program because a lot of people are wanting to know what this Red Pill community is all about. Greeting and praise the Lord. God bless Sister Robin. Sister Barry Howard, God bless you. I haven't seen you in a while. Praise the Lord. Glad to be on to learn about the topic. Okay. Bishop Barolo, God bless you. Thanks for watching. Sister Marie, praise the Lord. God bless you. Listen, I want you to tell your friends, share this right here. Tell your friends. We're going to give them a few more minutes because there are so many things out there that's happening, especially in the climate that we're in. I think it's important to be enlightened to know what's going on because a lot of people don't know what's going on. And so knowledge is power. We all know that knowledge is power. And so the more knowledge we have, because there are a lot of things that are going on and we need to know, especially the Christian community, we need to have an idea of what's going on. And a lot of us are just not aware of what's going on. So I don't know what you thought about when you thought about the red pill. I have to take my time, think about which one we're talking about, the red pill. But we're going to talk about that on today. And I'm going to let you start us off. Justin, tell us a little bit about your views of the red pill.
Okay, so I guess let's start from the beginning, right? So the reason that we're here and the reason we're having this conversation is because Doctor had presented me a book and was like, this talks about relationships and everything. And I was like, I actually got it. Where did I put it? Here. So he gave me his book.
Hold on to it.
Yeah, I ain't lost it. You see, I got a couple of books back there, so you know.
I see. There you go.
So he gave me the book. He told me to check it out. It talks about relationships and stuff. And I just so I'm not a representative. It's just something, that I read that I get into. And I was wondering if it was coming from more of like the red pill. It's not really doctrine, right? It's called, actually, if you want to look it up, the red pill is a praxeology, right? So that is the study.
And using the words, you might want to tell us what that means. You want to break it down.
Right. So praxeology is a praxeology is the study of human action and conduct. So a lot of
Okay.
people, when you look it up, is actually going to be reference to like economics, right? But
Hmm.
that
Right.
definition, meaning basically, um, it's a fluid type of community, I believe. And the reason
Okay.
that it's fluid is because the information does update depending on the times.
Hmm. So,
So
from the information that I received from it, uh, it can be subjective. I mean, because there's different views of what is considered the red pill community. And one of the things that you talked about was the gentleman was a Samuel Sams, was his name?
Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels, and his view is somewhat different, and so there are a lot of different views. So I don't want to go ahead of you, but you're doing one aspect of it. I'm going to do a disclaimer here. The views represented here does not necessarily reflect my personal views, but everyone's entitled to their own views. I figure I better throw that one out there. So a
Right.
little disclaimer. So, but there's a lot of different aspects to it when we deal with the red pill community. Can you tell us the origin of the red pill community?
Okay, so basically, so the Kevin Samuels thing, right? Specifically, Kevin. So we talking just relationships, right? We talking
Mm-hmm.
relationships and human interaction, right? And then you take data and you interpret that data, right? And then you can make certain talking points and certain ideas from that. So that's basically, Kevin Samuels was a part of the red pill community. God rest his soul, of course. And then you have
If
a
you just want,
different.
I'm
You
going,
have
I'm going,
different.
I'm going to ask you if you just back up and tell us a little about Kevin Sams, because I really didn't hear about Kevin Sams till I had a client of mine that was not a female client of mine was not too thrilled with Kevin Sam's views, and that's how I did a research on him. So you can
Gotcha.
just tell a little bit about him.
Gotcha. So for me, right, so I felt like before he became like really popular, I've read a lot of the books and stuff from like just different individuals who talk about, the state of certain our communities and stuff when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to relationships, marriage numbers, stuff like that. So once you become aware of that stuff, a lot of times you kind of start to get this a picture that is painted, right? So, uh, um, so just kind of getting into a little bit of the doctrine, if you will, with the red pill. So, for example, when you start to study it, you start to see that a lot of ideas of modern civilization is based on an idea of um, from a woman's perspective, right? So a lot of men have been feminized to think from a woman's perspective, mainly because women have raised them, right? They did not have fathers in the household, based white or black, right? Most people since the 1960s have not had both parents inside of the household, right? So we can look at the stats and see the numbers dropping as the years go,
Mm-hmm.
and that has to do with various different things that we can get into here.
We can actually go back to slavery days when the women were separated from the men, and so throughout history, a history of women being separated and the main caregiver. But we want to continue on.
So I really don't do the slavery thing because black folks was getting married through slavery. You have pictures of them back in the day jumping a broom that you actually can Google and look up. Black people still managed to be married through slavery, and most people had both their parents in their household up until the 1960s.
Okay.
It was once we got into more of like the baby boomer community to where those numbers started to dwindle down. You got drugs and stuff that became very prominent in America and things like that. Also, you have the people really started to get away from church as much as they used to. And then, you start to have a lot of these ideas that have been perpetuated through societal norms, which are the way we view today. For example, Just example of how let's talk about the church. How the church has moved from uh, a more masculine approach when it comes to religion, right? If you look at it, women are the ones who fill the churches. So when you objectively look at that, you have to ask yourself, okay, what about church nowadays that does not appeal to a man?
Okay.
That is because the perspective in which the doctrine is being showcased. People aren't taught to be men anymore, so everything is coming from a more so a woman paradigm. For example, Kevin Samuels, when he started to speak out against the woman's patriotic system that we have, especially in the black community, when he started to speak out against that, you've seen a lot of pastors who would not speak out against, let's say, abortion, right? But they would speak against Kevin Samuels and be like, "Oh, you can't say that a woman is this or a woman is that." But you would have thought that churches would have celebrated the fact that abortion was sent down to the states. It wasn't outlawed, but it was sent down. The Roe versus Wade situation was federally appealed, and now it's a state issue. So you would have thought that the churches would have celebrated, but they're not going to celebrate, basically because the women are the ones who run the churches, and the doctrine is catered towards women.
Okay, I'm going to say this right here, and I've been in church a long time. I've been in church over 40 plus years. I think, and ladies, you're on here, there's a link that you can click on here if you want to come on live. Or if you want to say it's my turn now and type in what your thoughts are. But most women in the church would probably disagree with that, because most women feel that they are the ones that are being more critically judged. Their dress, their way, and especially certain churches would not even let women preachers in the church, or would not let women on the pulpit. So I think, for you to say that, I think there are probably some, maybe if there's someone on here that agrees with me, let us know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're leaning toward that. But I think most women would probably disagree with that and say that women are the ones who are mainly targeted, criticized, especially in the older church. When I came to more conservative church, everything was targeted to the women, the way they dressed, women, what they could do and what they couldn't do. So they were more restricted than the men.
I get you, but look at that statistics, and that's why it's called a praxeology, because you look at data, and then that data is then interpreted based on the times we live in. That's why it has to be fluid, so that we can rationalize, right, and make the adjustments. So churches are filled with women. That is an absolute fact. Okay. So even though someone's feelings might be involved to say, "Hey, we are being stigmatized," right? If that was the case, if women were being overly stigmatized, you would see less women filling the churches. You don't see that. That's because they are catered to. So, for example, you do not see any, you see a few, but for the most part, you do not see any churches on their pages. And I work with a lot of churches. You don't see a lot of them standing up, protesting, Planned Parenthood, all these different things. And I'm not even saying my side or what I believe, but it's through study and observation, you can see that there is a movement, right? Even though the church would say individually, we don't, believe in this particular thing, but they're not going to speak out against it because of the woman's basically takeover, or have established themselves as a group inside of the church.
Okay. Barry Howard says, my turn now. How does your study of your topic, the Red Pill community, compare to scripture references? Very good question. Very good question. Now, I'm going to deal. I do want to add to what you're saying, and I do want you to answer this question right here. But the reason why I said that the Red Pill community is very subjective, because there's different aspects to the Red Pill community, because the Red Pill community, actually, if we really research it too, it starts with the movie The Matrix, where he said, don't take the red pill. So the red pill is the assumption that people are taking a pill, which is causing them to be deceived. And so I think Sams was saying that we were being deceived. So that's just one aspect of it, because even Alex Jones, who were telling people that the kids were not killed, he was saying, don't take the red pill. So there's a lot of different, that's why I said the red pill community is very subjective. Basically what it's saying, don't be deceived. And they're taking situations and turning it around. But I want to give you a chance to answer. Beverly Howard, it's my turn. Red pill community compared to scripture reference. How you script? Do you have any scripture reference to that?
So the red pill community, as far as a whole, basically are more directly infused with more so Christian foundational conservative values, right? So, for example, God, man, woman, the kids, right? That structure, the nuclear family, is basically in this particular context is is one of the goals, right? Or the centerpiece of the whole conversation of the red pill is to say that, hey, these ideals that we're pushing against actually worked, because they have created the civilization that we all live in luxury nowadays, right? We are the richest group of people in history. Even the most poorest person has never been as wealthy as we are now, right? So it's not hard to, even if you're homeless, to reach out to someone and ask for $1, for $5, right? We have more money than any other group of people in history, every single one. So the point of that saying is, this country, all of these different systems and everything that has been built on the backs of men, right, have been built because of strong women in the household raising the children, and men going out and building this society that we live in today. So that's just one way on how the red pill community is interlinked with more so conservative religious values.
Okay, now you said conservative religious values, and I'm going to ask Sales Cast knows that I may have joined late, but was it's a simple definition of the red pill community, also the credentials of the speaker to address the subject. Brother Holmes, I met him. Actually, the reason why I got him on the program because he actually kind of mentioned the red pill to me. I wasn't familiar with it until he mentioned it to me. So I wanted to get a young man's viewpoint of it, but he's still in the one aspect of it, because we talk about Kevin Sam. So many people would consider a chauvinistic, I don't know, some people may call him narcissistic. Women kind of frowned on him and frowned on his views. So what Mr. Holmes is talking, Brother Holmes, he's talking about from that perspective. But we can't, I'm looking at it from this perspective from we have conservative right-wing individuals, politicians who are saying, look at telling people don't take the red pill. In other words, you're being deceived. And this is, I'm just telling you what was being said. Alex Jones was telling people don't be deceived. The people was at the school were not being killed. So there's the reason why I say there's so many aspects of it that we need to know, because he's telling people, listen, you're being deceived. You're taking the red pill. The red pill indicates being your eyes are taking a pill that's causing you to be in denial. And for the most part, the red pill is saying you're allowing yourself to be deceived or allowing yourself to be denial. Kevin was talking about the culture of female, what he perceives as female women who were trying to not fulfill their position or what he assumed to be their role as a female. But then we have other individuals that use that red pill saying, listen, look at the political system. Look at this right here. Don't take the red pill and be deceived. And so they're changing the paradigm. They're changing the way we view things. And if we're not careful, what's happened is it's almost like right now we're looking at political. Thank you, Sister Shirley, for sharing. I'm asking those, feel free to share this. Actually, we have to be careful, because what happens, again, on the Matrix, they were telling, hey, don't take the red pill. Don't allow yourself to be deceived. If we're not careful, they're using this in so many different aspects. They're using it in the social aspect. They're saying, don't allow yourself to be deceived. Even when it comes to like the FBI and what we're seeing in the news here, they're saying don't take the red pill. The FBI is wrong. At one minute they were saying, support the police officers. Now they're saying don't take the red pill. Don't trust police. Don't trust the FBI. And so many people are using that for their own convenience. They're using that to justify their own actions. Now, when you talk about Kevin Samuels, that's the name. He was very popular. He's a very popular man, had very strong views on male dominant, what he felt like should be more of a male dominant society. So we can cover that a little bit if that's what you want to cover. Ezra, break down that definition. I don't know if that was a little more.
Okay, so red pill is a praxeology, right? It's an economic term, right? Mm-hmm. Which basically means the study or the behaviors of a group of people, right? Just like culture, right? So when you study culture, the root word of culture, right, is cult, right? So basically, a praxeology is basically the thing that makes the reason that we have to define it this way is because it's forever moving, right? So I'm sure 20 years from now, marriage rates will not be the same as they are today, right? So there's a reason, the reason that 70% of all divorces are initiated by the woman, and then that number actually go up towards 90% when you're talking about an educated woman.
All right, here now. This is again. This is where I'm gonna have to put another disclaimer out there. The views that are represented here are not my views. There are a young man, Justin Holmes. So because and we discussed that when we were in St. Louis. And but go ahead. Now I'm surprised none of the lay female viewers on here are responding to that. I want to hear what they're saying, because again, I'm looking at the red pill, a different aspect. That you're looking at one aspect of it, but yeah,
that's all I want to keep it on. One aspect. There's one aspect.
We might, that's your turn. You can keep on your aspect, but then when it's my turn, everybody on it's my turn. Everybody gets a turn to express themselves. So that's what you want to talk about. Hey, I'm all for. You can stick on that one turn, but what I'll discuss is from the understanding I have. So I'm not challenging your view. I'm not questioning your view.
I get you.
And you have a right to express yourself as everyone else on this program has a right to express. But it's about informing and educating people so they'll know what's going on. That's a strong view. Kevin Samuels, he had a tremendous following. I don't know how many. Do you remember how many following people he had?
And he had upwards of like 100 million views on YouTube. He had 1 million followers on Instagram, and he might have had 500,000 or so on Twitter.
Yeah, so he had a tremendous following, and those are the views that he espoused, and he was not he was pretty much lauded by the women. The women were not too fond of him. I don't think I ever found a woman yet that agreed with him, but there are a lot of men that was on there, and a lot of people followed him because they disagreed with him. But I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to talk about the red pill right here. It says, what is the red pill? The red pill is the awareness that goes against social norms. We have been primed to be one-dimensional thinkers, and the red pill philosophy tends to elevate the way we see and think from one-dimensional view to multi-dimensional angles, basically seeing beyond what we are shown or told. If you want to buy a car, you do not solely base your buying decision on the exterior health and the paint on the car. You want to judge the state and health of the car by investigating the engine, transmission, and mileage to determine if you are making a good purchase or not. The same thing applies to the red pill. Red pillars do not accept everything being told or shown solely just by its face value or emotions it emits, but rather accept things by the way of reasoning, analyze, and logic. And that sounds good, but the problem is some of these people who are red pillars, they want to eschew the evidence that they have to justify themselves, and they'll tell you, well, we don't have to accept it. Right is wrong, and that's kind of from almost like a philosophical concept. Right is wrong, and wrong is right. And so what they want to do is they can easily manipulate a person's thinking simply by saying, okay, we don't want to just look at this right here as a traditional values. We want to look at things different. We want to dig deeper, and I think that's good. I think we should be willing to dig deeper, but it's how they evaluate it themselves. A lot of times they're evaluating it from a negative perspective, what we know is traditional from a negative perspective, and it's easy a person can be deceived when they're looking at things. Like I give, and I'm just telling you, just people are saying, like, when we talk about the election, don't take the red pill. Don't let them tell you that our current president is the actual president. You're taking the red pill. You're being deceived. I mean, that's one aspect of it. I'm not talking about, that's not what you're talking about, but that's what some are saying. And they say, "Oh, you're taking the red pill. You're believing that this is so." Don't take the red pill and believe that you can trust the FBI. You can't. And so sometimes it deals with people's basic skepticism. It feeds into people's skepticism, and so now they find themselves questioning what they believe. So.
Right. So let's start getting into some tangibles. So I'm gonna really get into the heat and stuff. All right. So older man taught me, you give a woman $100 job, then you have to put with $100 worth of a lip.
$100 worth of lip. Okay. Now this is somebody that would probably go with that Sam. And I'm telling you, Mr. Brother S, don't get yourself in trouble. His
All right.
views.
So let's get into
His
it. Right.
views
So
are not my views. I'm going to go ahead and read this last comment.
all right. So it says, in Justin Holmes staying, he has many of the same views of Kevin Samuels in relation to women. Sure. I guess I like the way you phrase the question because it basically demonizes me by being an association. I'm just saying that this man is a part of a community that I had been studying and support, and then he's the one. I believe he blew up because of his look, right? So he was very he was approachable. He was, he had a certain look to him, I think, which appealed to the masses, right? So I think he worked it for him, and he worked hard, and he got a lot of his ideas out there. So let's get into it, right? So okay, so just getting into some statistics and stuff, right? So a lot of the ideas and stuff that has been perpetuated have been from a more so a woman's perspective. If you look at the political climate of today, a lot of it is based on people's feelings, right? Feelings have superseded values as well as traditional values as well as actual truths, right? So you can say that I did something because I felt some type of way, right? And I don't really want to get into more so, the new era with the, homosexuality and all that type of stuff. But just from a perspective of, let's say women, right? For example, women have been taught to exhibit characteristics like men. So they are looking for the man they want inside of themselves, right? And men don't look for the same thing that women do. So let's go into it. A lot of women believe or have been tricked into chasing careers versus building relationships. Men always have known that their role is to be a provider, right? So women are now in the perspective of they have to provide, and once they provide, they will find them a man. Men do not care how much money you make.
Okay,
that is not where men derive their values from.
Okay, I'm going to inject this right here.
Okay.
I'm surprised not more women are speaking up, but I will say this right here. This is from my perspective, and one of the things you said, people have been tricked. I think not only emotions, but people's conviction. People have certain convictions, and it could be a moral or a spiritual conviction that cause them to think the way they are. And you say women are tricked into believing that they have to work. But from what we said earlier, many of these women are not tricked into going to work. Many of these women have no option. Like we said earlier, you said that many of the women are raising kids because there are men, and we look at society. Unfortunately, a lot of men are in jail, a lot of men are on drugs, a lot of men have other challenges. So you have these single parents, single women. They have no other option. They have to work. If they don't make it, if they don't work, they ain't going to make it. And if they stay at home and stay on welfare, the system's going to talk about. So when we see a woman that's say, hey, I'm going to do what I have to do to take care of my kids. I think they should be applauded for that. It's not saying that they're being manly or what. They don't have any choice. If you don't work, they're saying, if I don't work, I don't eat. If I don't work, my child doesn't eat. And so I think they're placed in a situation where I think it should be commended. Not that, and I think a lot of women, if they had an opportunity not to work, not all of them, but a lot of women that had opportunity not to work, they would choose not to work, but they have to work. I'm going to read what Beverly Howard says. It's my turn now. I have listened to you, young man. Deception is of the enemy. Gratefully, we have Holy Ghost filled men and women to teach and guide us. I personally don't get wrapped up in a man or woman's wisdom. The Lord is our help. Okay. All right. We got one woman. She's out there. I'm sure you're not the only one. But I appreciate your views. And so I hear. Go ahead. Continue on.
In this aspect, let's keep it biblical, right? So what happens is, and I was talking to my sister about this the other day, you have what is called unintended consequences, right? When you're out of order, right? Let's say in a religious context, God's order, he's given us an order, right? And when you're out of that order, you have unintended consequences. So for example, a woman has to work 2 jobs because she has selected to mate with a male, not a man, a male, right? Who more than likely does not take full responsibility or accountability for his own life. So how could you ever expect him to be there for his children? So I would say, let's talk the practicality, right? So here's going to be a controversial one. Yeah. So I believe that women should not pick their spouses, right? So what do I mean by that? People are like, oh my God, you saying that women shouldn't pick their spouses? Oh my God. So for example, if you look at the amount of baby mamas that we have in the Black community specifically, right? Look at the amount of single Black women that we have in the Black community. So that means that it's something about women's ability to pick a spouse, right? Is something wrong with that particular thing. So that's why we have so many single women. I believe that if we go into order, right, and we let's say the woman's father or the girl's father, right, pick their spouse. So for example, it will go like this. The girl, she goes out, she finds the guy that she likes, right? And then she has to get the final say so from the dad, because I believe that only men can identify what a real man looks like. Just based on statistics, based on the numbers, obviously we have to all admit that there is a problem with single mothers in the Black community, right? So being that there is a problem, the praxeology, the red pill say, let's make an adjustment. How can we make an adjustment? I believe that adjustment is allowing men, your uncle, because everybody don't have a father, right? And we talking about let a real man say, hey, that's a good brother for you to be with, because I know he's going to handle his responsibilities. He's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that you're taken care of. But we have been sold this idea that, to go after, the gangsters, for example, especially like I'm from the hip hop community, right? And I was raised around violence, sex, and drugs, all of that type of stuff, right? And I was aware enough to see that I don't want to live this particular lifestyle. So, for example, if we look at, a lot of these young girls and stuff, they believe the alpha energy, the fake tough guy, oh, he got a gun, he shows it, oh, he got money, he got a bank, he got $1,000 in his pocket or whatever, he's selling drugs. They think that is a favorable person to reproduce with, right? And they pass up on the FedEx guy, the guy who goes to work, the guy who just goes to work, come home. They want the guy who exhibit fake alpha masculine characteristics, which are the gang bangers, the drug dealers, these type of things.
Okay, well, let me interject here. First, I'm gonna say women have been women have been used by men. They don't want to work and they pretend they love you. Okay, I'm going to have to say I hear what you're saying, and I think there's a difference between females in the church and female in the world. Now, here's the problem. You're saying that women can't pick pick their own man, and I'm sorry I have to disagree with you on that.
Okay.
But everyone's entitled to their own view. But the problem is, what if she's brought up in a household where a gangbanger, this person is that person capable of picking the right person for her? And I think that an intelligent woman knows what, if she knows what she wants, she's going to be content when she gets someone who matches the characteristics of what she wants. And we all have different characters. And there's some men that just aren't strong men. And so if you have someone who's strong and very supportive, she has the right to have some input is what I'm saying, in which sense. Because some people say, I was talking to someone the other day, said, women shouldn't ask men to marry them. That's that's a different side. I'm sure from our conversation, you don't agree that a woman should ask men. And to me, that's kind of controversial what happened, but they can show a person that they're interested in them. Let me see. I'm going to read this next one. Beverly Howard. I think Beverly's got stirred up here. Says Howard, it's my turn. Both my husband and I we work together, share our money together. I have respect and honor my husband. Both of us are educated. The Lord keeps us in order. My husband is a whole male and continues to be a father. The Lord picked my husband. Now there you go. So I think what Justin, what you're saying, I think there's a difference than a spiritual person and a non-spiritual person. I think a spiritual person has the ability to ask God. Scripture tells us, lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he'll direct your path. So it doesn't even say ask Uncle Joe or Uncle Blue, to tell him, but it said lean not to your own understanding and all your ways acknowledge him and he'll direct your path. And maybe, and to coincide with what you're saying, maybe if you were to ask, pray and ask God, send someone there to help you to confirm the type of person you want. You take Isaac, Jacob's father-in-law picked the wife for him. Is that correct? She picked.
You said the father-in-law should pick.
Jacob's father-in-law picked Leah.
Okay, yeah, that's how people used to do it back in the day.
Yeah,
if you have, even in the Bible, it talk about if you have sex with a man's daughter, a father's daughter, you have to pay, I believe, $50,000 or $5,000, something like that, for doing that. So you had a penalty for going out and having sex with an unmarried and not marrying the woman. We don't have stuff like that in place anymore. Which is an unintended consequence. That's why you have so much sex before marriage nowadays.
And when Jacob picked Leah, the Bible says that Leah he hated. So his father picked the husband for her, but the husband he picked hated her. And so when we talk about men picking, I think there's a lot of different ways you can look at that. I do feel that a woman has the right to pick the person who she feels comfortable with, and because you want a harmonious type relationship, like Sister Howard was saying, they're in one unit. God picked them. They're working together. They're combining. So we have to understand the times we're living in. Times are just totally different. We do say we live in a male dominant society, but we cannot underestimate or minimize the value that women play an important role in the church. There's a lot of reasons, we say, why are there less men in the church? I don't think it's because of the ministry. I think that men's hearts are more callous than women. Women can be more sensitive. You watch a football game. Men are catered to their mothers. Why? Because their mothers are more nurturing, and every male needs that nurturing aspect. There's nothing wrong with having a nurturing aspect. It just emphasizes caring. Okay, Ezra says, game recognize game. On the positive side, good woman can recognize a good man. Now, who makes the first move is the question. Very good. Sis Beverly. Howard said, yes, the trickster, Jacob got tricked by Laban instead of Rachel. The younger got Leah instead. So true. Okay. Treva said, women I have talked to say they want man with jobs and money, but we should wait on a spiritual man who, loves the Lord. Very good. Okay, continue on, brother
Okay, so the comment my brother commented with so look, he says that game recognize game, and a good woman can recognize a good man.
Right.
So if we take that and we say, is he saying that these 80% of women who have chose men to mate with, right, and have had babies with, multiple babies, and has been left alone, is he saying that those are bad women? Because the numbers say that, I mean, look at the divorce rate, the one parent household rates, different stuff like that. Are those women bad people because they did not do a good job at picking a good spouse to mate with? I don't believe so, but that's what the comment would say. If a good woman could point out a good man, why don't we have less baby mamas in the black community? Point blank, period.
Okay, Mr. Esther, you can answer that question. I would say this right here. There are a lot of things that now, when we deal with things from a spiritual dynamic, you see, we're looking from a worldly standpoint. From a spiritual dynamic, a lot of women have married good men that were good, who may have been working. But the enemy comes to destroy the household. The enemy comes to destroy. He comes to divide. There are a lot of good men that have been led astray because they did not maintain their proper role. A male has to be strong. A man has to know his value. A man has to know his self-worth, and he has to be willing to lead his home. There's some men that may start off well, and a woman may have picked a gentleman. And I've known as a therapist, I deal with a lot of clients. I have a good man. He started off working. Society challenges in life. The man ends up on drugs. He ends up on crack. He because of pressure in society, he doesn't make enough money. So some of them get into crime. They get into crime, then they end up in jail. So there goes a woman who had a good man, but the pressure of society, he could not financially take care of his family. It's not that he didn't want to, but society, he may have lost his job, may have gotten fired on his job. So pressure, he made bad choices because sometimes they didn't have God in their life. They didn't make wise. Doesn't mean that she didn't do a good job picking a good person, because a good person can turn bad. Okay, let me see. Bishop Rollo says, basically what I'm seeing and hearing is the Red Pill District form and have their own opinions on things, including the Bible. The difference is there is no opinion except God's opinion. Very good, Bishop. And that's why I said the Red Pill is a subjective community. And we're just talking about one aspect of it. The reason why I thought it was important, because a lot of people subscribe to this community. There's a lot of this, as you were saying. What are some of the statistics that you were saying, Justin?
Okay, so 70% of all divorces that take place in America are initiated by the woman. 70%. That number goes up towards 90% if the woman is educated. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's just one. We can go into it more. Let's go into maybe obesity rates, right? So women question why the successful men, when they become wealthy, right, they go out and get white women. 87% of all women, of all black women, are overweight or obese. It is a statistical fact. You can look it up. You know, it is what it is. At least 8 out of 10 women are overweight or obese. Black women, right?
Now, you know what I was just doing? I was putting on my seatbelt. It's a rocky ride, brother. I hear what you're saying. Again, I think, and that's why I didn't agree.
What do you think about the statistic?
Well, I mean, statistics.
Most people you see nowadays, visually, that you see anecdotal evidence, would you say that most women that you see are overweight or obese?
A lot of men are overweight. I'm overweight myself, I mean, that really think about it, I'm working out trying to get there, but I my doctor told me when I was 195, he said I was obese. When I was 195, 6'2", and he called it obese. So I guess, again, that's subjective. I'm thinking, man, that to me, that's I don't want to get below 200 pounds. But let me read.
Obesity is not subjective. I'm sorry.
No, it depends. It depends. If you're telling
the BMI chart is not subjective.
Well, some chart, it depends on what the chart is, because some people who anorexics, they look at themselves, they consider themselves to be obese in their mind. They're obese. But I just
No, we're
think,
talking about actual science, though. We're
but
not talking about.
they changed. Those numbers have changed throughout the years too. What science
Yes.
called obese, those numbers have changed. So that's why I said subjective. If it's not subjective, that means it can't be changed. But since doctors have gone back and reevaluate the numbers, that shows that it is a subjective number that can be changed. So
No.
it has
Okay,
been,
I'm gonna say this.
doctors have changed what the standard of obesity is. Go back, do your homework. They have changed what numbers are considered to be obese.
Okay.
They have changed that. So anytime you're able to change something, that means those numbers can be subjective. Now I'm going to read what Sister Howard says. Just said, it is my turn because of deception. These circumstances have been because of the work of the enemy. Family takes work and perseverance of the Lord. I'm going to try to read what Ezra says, then I'm going to get back to you. Those young women can be gold diggers who are looking for looks and stuff instead of a man with great spiritual and natural substance. Okay, let me read this last one. This is my turn. Young man, your contentions with women are obvious. There are people with serious conditions that involve obesity. Where are your scripture references? So, you know,
gluttony is
it's
a
your turn
sin.
now.
I mean,
It's your turn now. I mean, we knew what to expect when you came on here, you know. So
right. So let's dive deeper into it or whatever, right? So with the obesity thing, everybody knows it's a problem. Now, I will say, in the history of the BMI chart, this event that took place. It's called Fat Tuesday. You can look it up. The BMI chart was adjusted, right? Mm-hmm. Because it is based on the average, based on your height and your body weight. That is what the BMI chart is based upon. So it's Fat Tuesday, and they said that I believe 3 million people slipped into obesity on this day. So you guys can actually look it up. So, but what we have to do as a community is when science and statistical data confronts us, we have to quit discounting books and science when our truths do not match up with facts. We have to be more realistic, right? Everybody who's fat know when they're fat, for example. You know, you feel it, you see it, you know, these type of things. And then if you look at pictures of people before the 1960s, before the fast food enterprise, the boom that we see, fast food joints being at every corner, before these things became so popular, you did not see obesity at the magnitude that you see today. Most people before 1960 were skinny. It was, you know, you had buff guys, of course, who worked out in the field from all the strenuous work, and then you had skinny people. But most people back then used to be skinny. So what we have to do is we have to quit equating obesity to some type of what would it be? Passed down on big bone genetic. We have to quit saying that obesity is genetic. Everyone can be lean, skinny, and healthy. Everyone can. It does not, you're either in a calorie surplus or you're in a calorie deficit. There's no in between. It is called the law of thermodynamics. We all live by it. You're either gaining weight or you're losing weight. You have to control how many calories you consume a day, and it is physiologically possible for you to be in a calorie deficit and not lose weight.
Okay, I would say this right here. Everybody's biological system is different. There's some folks as a kid, they were fat. I mean, they're fat. There's some people, I've seen people who eat less or eat more and still don't gain weight. It has nothing to do with what they eat. They eat. I've seen people at the table. I've gone to eat load their plate up, and they just do not gain weight. Matter of fact, I was kind of shocked to see the other day a commercial on TV said, "I took this pill right here. This is another pill. I took this pill and I gained 30 pounds." They were excited. I said, "Man, that was first. It shocked me. This first time I'm seeing somebody excited to gain weight." And so there's some people who are trying to gain weight, and so I mean, you know, you could say that, but I do think there are some people, you know, who actually gain weight, and it's a lot of variables. There's a lot of variables involved. But what I'm saying, anything that's not subjective cannot be changed. Objective, and they can change the subjective standing, and make it more objective. But there's some subjectivity. But what you're saying, if I'm not mistaken, is that we have to quit reading books, or where are we getting our information from then? If you tell us to quit reading books, and that's what
I just say quit reading books. I would never say that.
Okay, tell me, what were you saying?
I was saying that when people personal truths does not align with facts, what they do is they discount statistics, books, philosophy, all of these different things, because their truths does not align with actual facts. So, for example, calories in equals calories out. That is the truth. That is a fact, right? No way around it. I don't care what your eyes have seen to say that, oh, that kid, he eats all day and he don't gain a pound. He is either in a calorie surplus or a calorie deficit. There's no in between, right? You could be at maintenance, right? Some people are more active. Some people burn more calories throughout the day, right? You have kids who can't sit down. Of course, they're going to be skinny. They're so active. Why do we have so much childhood obesity nowadays? That's because kids are not as active as they used to be. So we have to quit saying that things are subjective, but this is the actual reality. We need to stop saying the metabolism thing, people metabolisms and stuff like that. No, if you eat a ton of calorie-dense food, such as, for example, Black folks, we got to put down the oil, right? I know it's going to hurt us. Oil, for every tablespoon of oil that you consume is 100 calories.
Okay. Let me say this right here. Another thing too is people's ability, the economical system affects what you're able to eat and how healthy you are. A lot of times people don't have the resources, and you talk about food deserts. There's some places in the inner city, they may have one store. They don't have the big supermarket. They are victims of what is available in their area. So they have to purchase and buy what's available. And so they can't do like some people go, pick and select. You eat what's on your table, or you eat what you can eat. So that means that's to no fault of their own, especially children. That's to no fault of their own. And so a lot of that they can be victims of circumstances, and it's the food, it's the stuff that we get. We don't know what's in the food until FDA tells, like McDonald's French fries. I used to love their French fries. Their French fries delicious. Come found with something in there that was unhealthy. They took it out, and once they took that out, I don't like McDonald's French fries. So let me see. We got Triva Ezra again says, obesity Bible wise, God looks down on it as a negative. Okay, all right then. We run out of time, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you.
Okay, so with the obesity talk, we have to quit making excuses as a community. I know a ton of people who sell food stamps. Everybody in America, for the most part, has access to food stamps. Point blank, period, right? And we have to quit making excuses. Okay, food deserts. Okay, that's a problem. In this 21st century we live in, you got Uber Eats. You have different things. You have most people have a vehicle in America. You have people who can give you transportation to get to an area. And then let's keep it honest. It is not because of food deserts. It is because of food, personal decision making and choices. I've never seen no one go out and buy nothing but fruits and vegetables, and then something has happened, or they put some in the seeds and all that stuff. Even if it's a GMO, I've seen people lose weight eating seedless everything, right? Now, here's my final point that I want to make, right? So we have to take full accountability for our personal decision making, right? We have to quit blaming the system and all of these different things. Oh, we only have access to what they put around us, right? So right here in St. Louis, one of my office space is in Jennings. So I watch people, complain and say, hey, there's no nutritional items or whatever. And I go right to Snooks, right? But some people go into Lee's, Popeyes, Rallies, White Castles, Burger King. These places could not exist without us financing these places, without us patronizing these places. This is called supply and demand. We hold the power. What we spend our money is what makes these people dreams come true. I don't eat Burger King, White Castles, Rallies. So these people do not have my economic support. So that's my point.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Mr. Davenport got somebody that agrees with you. He said the young man is correct and the macro facts are facts. And you're right. I agree with you. Facts. I think one thing I will say is right here, Justin, is education is so important. You know, education, and sometimes people don't even know what is a healthy diet. You know, it's a common serious. Some people just don't know that.
I agree.
No nutrition. You know, and we have diabetes is a problem. A lot of times people don't know what foods are healthy and what foods not. We aren't taught that. We aren't educated about those things. I think in any situation, education is important. But the question, and what we're doing with the Red Pill, is who are you allowing to indoctrinate you? Where are you getting the education from? Now we're looking right now. We look outside. There are people who are saying, "Hey, we need to fund the FBI and don't believe everything." If you get to the point, you know, the Red Pill is saying that. Discount a whole lot of things that are being said, and to a degree you could find some truth behind that, but it can cause you not to believe any type of system, and you have to find out what is correct and what's not correct. And from a spiritual standpoint, we have to believe in God directing us and showing us in a lot of things, because like I said, that BC, you're right, and to some degree, I'm not going to discount everything he said, but I'm going to say to a certain point, it's about education. People don't know. A lot of people haven't been educated that all the calories is in McDonald's and Burger King and this and that. They don't know. But then again, back to what I said, supply and demand. Everybody can't get an Uber. Everybody can't get. I'm not saying across the board, everybody, but I'm saying there are situations that we cannot apply that to everyone. There are situations that people are in that they are not able to do any better. And then we say economics, you know, you eat when we was coming up, you ate what's on your table. And when I was a kid, you ate what's on your table. If you didn't like it, you just went hungry. And so that's in the community. Sister Rose Max said, we might need to do a part 2. I just got on and I'm lost and don't qualify for food stamps. All right. So he's talking about people having the ability to purchase food and buy what they want. So Triva said, they are now calling for foods to deliver to your door. Yeah, we try to make it more and more convenient. Okay, one doctor wrote a book called Dead Doctors Can't Lie. Very good book. I actually read it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. I like that title.
They have an audio. It's a good book. I
got a book for everybody to check out.
Okay.
It's called Food Genocide, Fast Food Genocide by Dr. Joel Fuhrman.
I've heard of him before. Okay, listen, we're running out of time. I'm going to give those. Anyone have any comment? They want to give 5 minutes. Okay, but again, you know, we just dealt with one aspect of the Red Pill. The Red Pill is basically saying, you know, we don't just take what's said in front of us. We have to be able to look at things objectively rather than subjectively. I think that's what you're saying. That's what we both agree on the fact that we can't just look at things subjectively. And sometimes we are naive we do look at things, you know, just take what's told us, and we should get. Bible tells that now. People have been asked to give scripture. Scripture said, "And all they get understanding." So we have to understand how to get an understanding. The Bible also tells us to show ourselves approved to God, working and not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word. So we do have to study. We do have to get understanding. We do have to ask God, Lord, you give us the wisdom, you give us the knowledge, you give us the understanding, so that we'll know what to do. Give us the knowledge, you know, even when it comes to marriage, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to picking a husband. And I think if a woman is spiritual and she's godly enough, I think God can give her wisdom to pick the right husband. I don't think I need to have Uncle Blue cause me to, a woman had to ask Uncle Blue. Uncle Blue might be a drunk, and he might pick, just because he's a man doesn't necessarily qualify him to be able to make a better decision to this woman who knows what she wants. You know, all of us are different. and we know what we like and we know what we don't like. You know, some people like beets and some people don't. Some people like carrots and some people don't. So if Uncle Blue says you marry a man that tells you that you need to eat carrots and you don't like carrots, you got a problem. So you have to know, you know, we live in a different society, and so, you know, we don't have to be, people don't have to be told what to do. People need to be educated. And so, you know, because there are as many people who believe, almost as many people, I'm not gonna say as many, but there are a number of people who, even to this day, because of the red pill, will still tell us that President Biden is not our president. They will tell you that he's not our president. There are a lot of people say he was not elected, but then on others, there are a group of people say that he is our president. So it depends on how you view it. And those who say that he's not will say the ones who believe he is have taken the red pill, and so they use that to justify and say, well, they've taken the red pill. Let us see if this man's not the legitimate president. Y'all taking the red pill, so y'all don't really see it like it is. Like Alex Jones, the people, and I'm trying to think of the name of the school, he told me, hey, those kids weren't killed. That's a hoax. That's why he's got sued for so many millions of dollars, because he's telling people, don't take the red pill, don't do it. When it has been legitimately verified that's true, and that's why he's getting sued. So there's some people tell you don't take the red pill, and you've been deceived when what they're doing themselves is using that as a tool to deceive you as well. Okay, Treva said he needs to go into the schools and churches. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm not sure what she means by that. You can kind of clarify that. But listen, I really appreciate you taking time. You know, and the reason why I have he's a fine young man, very talented young man. You can tell he's done a lot of study. He's done a lot of homework. But we have a lot of young men just like him out there. And so we have to pray for him and pray that God will direct him. I guess there's some woman, you know, some woman waiting for some man to tell her that you can marry, I guess, because she can't pick you on her own, right?
No, not at all.
She can't pick you on her own. So some woman is waiting for some man to tell her that you are the man for her, because she don't know what she wants. Is that what you're saying?
We in the get chose game. You gotta get chose out here. Don't be hitting your knee for no man.
Yeah, oh boy. All right. Okay. Since Chris says my turn now, I do agree with Justin's view on eating healthy and staying away from fast food. You know, I agree with you on that too, Crystal. You know, I agree. I'm not saying a lot of things you're saying I agree with. You know, I can't say I agree with you 100%. That's why, you know, I had to give a disclaimer. You know, some of the things, you know, I had to put on my seatbelt because it was getting kind of rocky there. So I had to put on my seatbelt. Some of the things I agree. I do agree with you on that, you know, but again, the red pill is saying don't be deceived. And so, but the knowledge is so important. But the problem is, where are we getting our information from? Where are we getting our information from? What I often do is I watch news. I watch a lot of news. Some people say I don't watch any news, but I watch Fox News. Then I watch MSNBC News. And I remember when I was in college, when Dan Quayle was vice president, I remember reading articles for New York Times, other magazine, and they more or less had a negative viewpoint on him. But because his parents, relatives, owned the Indianapolis Star, everything in the Indianapolis Star was shaped to make him sound better. It's all about where you get your sources, where you get information from. I think that's important. We have to be careful, you know, of the sources where we get our information from. Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
We agree in that fast food and fast men will get you into trouble every time. Thank you, sister.
Yeah, I like that.
Fast food. I guess that's one way of putting it.
Come full circle. I like that.
Come full circle. Okay. So Beverly, it's my turn. I appreciate the disclaimer. Thank you for the session. Again, you know, you have your own views, but what I try to do is enlighten the audience. We talk about different subjects. This is a subject I found interesting. You can do your own research. Look it up. You know, with the modern technology today, you can look up and research all kinds of. I'm going to say this right here. On last week, someone told me that they posted some comments. I never saw the comment. I went back to see if I saw the comment, but I do want anyone that's watching this, if I do not show your comment, it's because I did not see it. I would never, because of this program, I want everyone to have an opportunity. Everyone's views are your views, and I respect everyone's views. So I want everyone to know if there's a time when I don't read your comment, it's because I didn't see it. So I just thought I'd say that. I don't want anyone to think that I would just not ignore them. So and is she, that person not the only one? I've had someone else told me that once before too. I had someone told me they comment, I didn't see it. 3 days later, I think it popped up on here. So that, don't blame me, blame on technology. Talk about what he is talking about. Talk about what he's talking about now. Red pill is something people don't know. And so I hope that you've gotten something. Everyone's gotten something regarding the red pill. I think, it's good to see your viewpoints, and it's good to see how the young people are thinking. Young people are thinking in the times where a lot different. There's, and so we need to know what they're thinking. So we're going to have different views. Everybody has different views, different ideals, different concepts, and we want to respect that. So I want you to be encouraged. Don't forget, share this right here. Share with your friends, share with your neighbors. Continue to give comments, because we read the comments afterwards. And so, brother Justin, thank you once again for willing to be a part of It's My Turn Now. If you have any questions, feel free to type in a message, because sometimes I have people who I have probably 200-300 people after the program goes off that comment on it. So if you have any questions, please continue to share this right here. Thank you again, brother Justin, for coming on to It's My Turn Now.
Cool. I appreciate you, Doc. Thanks again. Justin signing out. It's my turn.
All right, then. God bless you. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you that took the time to be a part of this right here. We thank Justin. He's a young man. I respect his views. And everyone has their views, but I think the show is objective. We like to give everyone an opportunity to express themselves. Like I said, the theme behind this program is My Turn Now, where everyone gets an opportunity. So you had an opportunity. If you have some feelings or some thoughts and you didn't feel comfortable sharing it, you can feel free to express it. I always leave a link on here. All right, God bless you, Brother Benjamin. Brother Benjamin's on here. I want everyone to feel I respect everyone's opportunity. You have the freedom to express yourself, and we don't have to agree with you, and you don't have to agree with what I say, but you do have an opportunity to express yourself. It's my turn now. So listen, we encourage you to make yourself aware, learn, study, and all that get understanding. God bless you. Until next week, we'll see you next week. Be blessed. Don't forget to share this with your friends. Share it, link, and feel free to leave comments. God bless.